Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 13 through 21. Now, after Jesus hears of his cousin John the Baptist's execution, so that he could be made into the centerpiece at an erotic banquet, Jesus withdraws. He seeks to go to a solitary place, to a quiet time in a boat. And you think about this is that when he is in despair, Jesus seeks the Lord. He is in prayer. And when you have a rough day, right, what do? Do you watch more TV, play video games, have a glass of wine or bourbon or something, do something else? Or do you seek God like Jesus does in your time of despair? We should imitate Jesus as Christians to find God's peace. Now, in verse 14, it says, the crowd is running after Jesus. They won't leave him alone. They're there when he lands. And what does Jesus do? He sees them. He has compassion on them, and he heals the sick. Now, what is that about? He doesn't look past them. He sees them as the people they are, as people of God, as people for whom God loves. He has compassion on them. He doesn't blame them for their condition, but rather he has God's mercy upon them. And then he heals the sick because he is the inbreaking of God's kingdom. He gives them the gospel so they can see it right in their midst. Now, it says in verse 15, as the evening approached, the disciples say, hey, we got a problem. This is a bad place and a bad time. We're remote and it's late. Send them away so they can fend for themselves. And, Jesus says to them, well, we don't need to send them away. What do you have? And he dumps the problem right back into their laps. And how do they respond? We only have. How often does the church respond to the work of the gospel with the idea of scarcity? That when we are called to minister to people who are sick with sin, who are lost in this broken world, that we say we don't have enough and we send them off to fend for themselves. And look at what Jesus says. He says, bring them here to me. Now, is he talking about the resources? Or when he uses the pronoun them, is he talking about the people? Well, it might be the people because then they're all directed to sit down. And so Jesus instructs that the people would be brought to him. And then he looks to heaven, he gives thanks, and then the bread and the fish, the gifts, are distributed. And in a heartbroken world, Jesus doesn't ask us to take care of it. He asks us to bring them to him and to use what we have to bring to convey the gospel, right? And so that's our calling as the people of God, to serve Jesus, to bring people to him, and to look to him, to see them, to have compassion on them, and for him, for Jesus Christ, to heal them and feed them. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.